Kyrie, you guys have put in a lot of time and work in, and to finally step on that court in a game situation, first event in a long journey. How did you process it all, and what did it mean to you?
Oh man, well it was exciting just to get started, just because it's just been long awaited. We've been putting this thing together for past year, ups and downs, and I think it's only fair to admit that when we committed here, we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. First time we came here. Now that we have everybody, a full collective group, and I'm just excited just to continue to grow and build. It's not just me. I'm grateful that I get to share the floor with just so many other great players. Good players with high IQs, and it's just so different here. I love it.
Tom Dowd, BrooklynNets.com.
Hey, Kyrie, opening up last night, you got Spencer, you got Kevin out there. So three guys really highly capable of operating as a lead guard. How is the fit and the flow between you guys? And how dangerous does it make you to have those three creators out there, even if it's Karras instead of Spencer?
Can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
I was just saying, you got like three guys highly capable of operating that lead guard role with yourself and Kevin and Spencer out there last night. How is the fit and the flow between the three of you, and how dangerous does that make you guys, even if it's Karras out there instead of Spencer sometimes?
Well, no, I mean, what kind of dangerous do you think it makes us? I think I could ask you the same question. Just being able to have so many guys that could play off the ball with the basketball, and our offense is predicated on guys just being efficient in space. Some of us don't necessarily have the target of shooters, catch and shoot, and we're kind of one-on-one guards, sort of say we can get our own shots. Guys can do so many things intangibly with the game, but when you have Karras, myself, Spence, and KD out there, just that four, alone in one group, it's hard to match up. We see mismatches all over the floor. And then you add in kind of the versatility of the other guards that we have that can play multiple positions, with Tyler Johnson coming off the bench, being able to play, defense and being able to play that lead guard. We got Chioza, who's a great backup as well. Guys are showing great things in camp, and we just want that to translate into the season so we could just plug in guys whenever we deem fit, or Coach Nash can plug in guys.
Greg Logan, Newsday.
Kyrie, you guys have overcome a lot of obstacles to get to this point, just to get to here. And now you have a season with COVID in front of you. You have a short training camp. Can you just describe the difficulty of pulling this all together in such a short time frame?
Man, well, like I always say, whether I'm on, kind of my platform or anywhere else, it's just prayers out to everyone's families first and foremost. It's such a sensitive time in history. 2020 it's not been friendly to everyone. It's been filled with challenges, and life has come into play. So I'm just grateful to be sitting here with you guys. But in terms of what's reflected in terms of how I felt coming into this, especially this environment, back to work, you don't want to take any day for granted. You want to be able to come in and be happy, be secure, and feel protected. And the guys here have been able to make me feel like that. And it's taken quite a few risks on my end to be able to secure this space for me. But that's all that matters, is what's going on in this locker room, what's going on out there in the court, and how can we continue to build and grow. So the difficulty is just, it's there, it's life. It's COVID, we can't do much about it, but I well wish everyone's families, and we're here to play basketball and perform and put on for our families.
Brian Lewis, New York Post.
Hey, Kai, how you doing? This is twofold. One, obviously you were happy to be out there, period, and happy with all your teammates. But 10 months away for you and 18 months for KD, just how did it feel for the two of you guys to be out there together finally and healthy and playing the way you were? And the second part, you mentioned your platform. I'm just curious, was there anything that was, and you said it vaguely, but was there anything specific that was either, written, reported, vlogged, or whatever, that maybe you felt some kind of way about, that you had to step back for a while and before you would talk to us?
Well, like I said, the focus is on what's going on in the task here, my job. And I wanted to make sure that was clear. There are no distractions. Nothing about dispelling anything, nothing about going back and forth, nothing about calling out one person or another, not even refer to you guys as pawns, you know what I mean, or media. It's just really how I felt about the mistreatment of certain artists when we get to a certain platform, of when we make decisions within our lives, to have full control and ownership. You know, we go through the rigorous season, we do everything we're asked to do, you know, and we want to perform in a secure and protected space. And if I can't have my voice protected on this platform where I offer myself and my art, just inviting everyone to it, because this is what I've been blessed to do. You know, I didn't make it from the best circumstances. I made it because my family had a foundation and taught me the right things of how to live a principle-led life. So having that in basketball and my art, you know, it's just finding a balance, you know, and that's all. So to answer your first question, can you ask that one again?
Well, I was saying, obviously, you're happy to be out there with all your teams.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But 10 months for you, 18 months KD, the two of you were together playing the way you did.
Well, it's not the first time I've had a significant injury. You know, I've been out a long period of time. So I've had to build myself back up quite a few times in my career, you know, getting hit down in the 2015 finals with my fractured kneecap, and then, you know, just having minor injuries and couldn't really avoid the injury bug, just being able to play a high level for a consistent amount of time. And, you know, it's very disappointing. You know, having disappointing seasons the last few years hasn't necessarily been the best reflection that I wanted to put out, but you know, it's a different show, it's a different stage, and it's a new beginning in terms of what we're building and moving forward with the pieces we have here. And that includes 7-Eleven, so get to know us.
Alex Schiffer, The Athletic.
Hey, Kyrie. I got a two-parter for you. Obviously, you had surgery in February. I guess at what point this year did your shoulder start to feel back to normal and you felt like you could do everything you usually do? And then just what have your impressions been of Steve as a coach?
Well, to answer your second part, man, Steve's been amazing. And it really is a reflection of the type of person he is, you know, and the IQ he has for the game, you know, and he commands the respect. And it's not through just coming in and being a kind of typical rah-rah coach being on us. It's just giving us a comfortable space to grow, to communicate, to throw ideas out there. And then you got a two-time MVP coaching you, man. I'm like, you know, I think I got to take back my comments in terms of head coach back a few months ago. But it's just like, man, we have such a great synergy. Everyone feels like we're coaching one another to be better. So I'm grateful for that.
Malika Andrews, ESPN.
I'm sorry, he had the first part of the question as well. What did you say again?
Yeah, just that you had surgery in February on your shoulder. I guess just what point this summer in the fall, I guess, did you feel fully back to normal? Man, or are you still feeling back to normal? Yeah.
Well, after any surgery, you got, like I said, you have to build yourself kind of to another place. You can't necessarily do all of the same thing, but you can make some minor tweaks in your game to be able to still perform, you know, with a shoulder that's just been repaired. So, like I said, I don't make any excuses before I go out there on the court. I put in the work. I'm just going to let it speak for itself.
Back to Malika, ESPN.
Hi, Kyrie. First, I was wondering if yesterday I noticed that everyone was introduced as from their college and you were introduced as from New Jersey. Was that something that you wanted as you're kind of getting started in your Nets career?
Well, I'm glad you caught that, Malika. It was just right before the game. I just wanted to kind of hear it out, West Orange, New Jersey, to hear it. And I was grateful that our announcer, he's the same announcer that was with us in Cleveland. So we have a great rapport. And I just wanted to be a great representative of my state, you know, but I think it'll flip back and forth. I'm grateful to represent Duke as well, Duke University, you know. So.
And then quickly, just secondly, I know you've talked about being able to play with Kevin and being coached by Steve, but Mike D'Antoni has also joined this team, and Steve told us that he's going to be in charge of the offense, and oftentimes that's where you shine. What's it been like working with him?
It's been incredible. I'm grateful. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying this grateful word, but I really want to make that standard is that it coming in with D'Antoni, with Amari Stoudemire, you know, with Royale Ivy, with our collection of coaches, Jordan Ottman, you know, I want to mention all the coaches. They as a group have been able to guide us to come together as men in the locker room and then be able to communicate with them. And then we mesh well together. And with Mike D'Antoni in the locker room talking about offense, I mean, come on now. Like, he's led the league with 3-point attempts the last few years with his teams and his offensive style, and give him credit for what he did in terms of helping James grow in Houston and that Houston Rockets team over the last few years, taking them to the Western Conference Finals and just very competitive. And now we get his brains and IQ over here. I mean, it just makes our group a lot stronger.
Christian Winfield, New York Daily News.
Hey, what's going on, Kyrie? In terms of championship experience, there's you and there's KD. But when you look across the rest of the roster, there's not really that much. What exactly do you hope to, I guess, maybe teach or instill in this team, maybe earlier in the life cycle that maybe it took you longer to learn along the path in terms of what it takes to win over the long haul of a championship season?
Well, I think that's a great question, and I appreciate that. It really, you can't make up experience. You can't make up time, and you can't make up trying to get this whole thing as a championship, collective train right away. And as much as I would like to put aspirations, expectations on us, like, hey, if we get to this point, we're going to be a championship team, and we know, it's just not true. We got to continue to make progress every single day and craft, and that's just doing little things every single day in terms of when you get to that level, which is ultimately the NBA Finals, which is the biggest goal for us to compete on that level. And we know the monsters that are getting together and all these different teams, which I'm excited for. The league is just going to be that much more exciting. And you, as a competitor, you want to build your team the best without anything mattering when it comes down to putting that ball in the hoop, game 1 through 7 in the final. So this is the beginning of the journey. We use every day to get better.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.